Today we're going to talk about infertility at the Winter Wellness Center.
Yeah. I mean, after battling infertility actively for 9 years of our 11 years of marriage, and finally achieving a pregnancy within such a short time frame of being seen at the Winter Wellness Center, with it only being 2 months of being able to get my body straightened out and get to the root of the issue and get it corrected, I guess I shouldn't have been surprised that when my son was only 10 months old, we were pregnant again. And it was exactly what we had hoped would happen eventually. We were a little surprised it happened so quickly, but extremely ecstatic. But it really did make me realize that I had a restored faith in my body's ability to function as it should, and that I could trust my body, that it was doing what it should, and that my hormones were doing what they were supposed to do, that all my organ systems were functioning appropriately, and that if anything was out of balance at all, it was an easy thing to do, to have it reevaluated, to come in and look at what my nutrition was, or look at was there a nerve impinge that needed fixed because I had tweaked my back or my neck in some way. But to know that there were easy solutions that were natural and pain free and able to do that. But just to see that my body was functioning as it should again was huge. It was such a blessing, and it's something that going forward I don't have fear of. Was that just one miracle that I got granted in my life, that I was able to have that one precious little baby, but that I can have more children and my body will function as it should, and that we can achieve this and it not be a long drawn out heartache of a process as it was leading up to the first child that we were able to have. But it was interesting. Second pregnancies, they always say, are different from the first. So with this pregnancy, I did end up with more discomforts along the way, but those were able to be addressed as we went along. I was actually diagnosed as a gestational diabetic, but I was able to come in and address that nutritionally and take some whole food supplements that helped me process my sugars and helped all of that go through as it should. We actually had a little bit of a scare with Knox when he was 18 weeks old. We had an ultrasound that showed that there was potentially a growth on his chest wall, and that was related to the lymphatic system. So I was able to come in and we talked about that, and I talked about, what can I do besides just pray for this baby that this will be resolved? Is there something that I can take, an adjustment I can do, or what can I do? We were able to do some whole food supplements as well, that addressed the lymphatic system that we had hoped would, potentially cross the placental barrier and help the baby. And I don't know if that's 100% why when he came out he was perfect and there was no growth on his chest wall. It had completely resolved at that point. We'd followed it very closely throughout my pregnancy, but it was completely resolved and he was born absolutely perfect with no lymphatic issues, no lymphatic congestion, no growth on his chest wall, which was wonderful. And so that was huge, and that was such a relief, and it is such a comfort to know that there's something else that I can do, that I can be proactive during my pregnancies to keep myself feeling good, but also help my babies in utero to grow and develop as they should, and to help them resolve any hiccups that they have in that process. That there's something I can do that's safe and effective for us both, and that's huge. And also to know that when I'm nursing my babies, that if there are any issues that arise, that I can address that nutritionally, and also address that with any adjustment with my body. And also adjustments with them, that when they come into this world and need that little extra help, that's available. And that's such a comfort to know that you can get to the root of the problem and fix it quickly.
Call the Winter Wellness Center at 770-536-6600.